was a hell of a fighter, a gold medalist, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, but he was behind the scenes. Two guys with a crazy amateur backgrounds.
The lead-up to the highly anticipated clash between Ilia Topuria and Charles Oliveira, anticipation reached a fever pitch. Fans and pundits alike buzzed with speculation over how the matchup would unfold, with several of the sport's biggest names offering their predictions. Drawing from deep wells of personal experience and tactical insight.
It's hard to beat him. It's going to be hard to beat Usyk because he's fast and he outpunched.
Their views painted a layered and fascinating picture of what was to come. Israel Adesanya, known for his measured takes and refusal to buy into hype without reason, had clearly evolved in his view of Topuria. Initially cautious, even skeptical, of the Spaniard's rapid ascent, Adesanya became a full-blown believer after watching.
I think I've shown that in my last 3 fights that I'm totally different. I'm more confident, believe myself more and whatever, but yeah.
Topuria dismantle elite opponents like Alexander Volkanovski and Max Holloway. What impressed Adesanya most was Topuria's surgical precision, relentless pressure, and devastating fight-ending power. He comes out of that Bronx-style Muay Thai.
I believe Usyk has more fans in UK than any of the other
Stance, always marching forward, Adesanya noted. Unless he gets cracked early, he's not going to back up. Ilia's got this slow-cooking kind of pressure. He's always there, head moving just enough, constantly shifting. Charles has a sick jab, and once he finds his rhythm, it's dangerous. But I don't think Ilia will give him that room. He's just going to press forward and force Charles to retreat.
Because of the fight falling through against Joseph Parker, but you know, it's exciting, and I think definitely.
Unless Charles lands something huge early, like one of those knees, Ilia's not going anywhere. While Adesanya acknowledged Oliveira's elite ground game, he also pointed to a recurring vulnerability: Oliveira's tendency to get clipped during exchanges. Though his recovery was exceptional, Adesanya believed that against a finisher like Topuria, such mistakes could prove costly. In his view, a knockout win for Topuria was not only possible, but the most likely outcome, if Oliveira came in too aggressively. Dustin Poirier, who had faced Oliveira in the octagon himself, offered a more nuanced and strategic breakdown. Reflecting on his own fight with the Brazilian, Poirier spoke of how Oliveira
is on his way up, where Usyk is in his 37 is in a top position now. Yeah, so there is no other.
Oliveira effectively managed distance, rarely entering close quarters unless it was to clinch or disengage on his terms. This, Poirier argued, would be essential against Topuria. When asked about what made Topuria's boxing so dangerous, Poirier didn't hesitate. The crispness of his technique, the positioning, the way he throws, it's all so clean. He was putting people away at 145. Now he's moving up to 155. He's going to have even more behind those punches. He's a dangerous, dangerous guy. That said, Poirier warned that Topuria should avoid testing Oliveira's grappling too willingly. Getting tangled with Oliveira on the ground could quickly lead to disaster. However, Poirier also highlighted a psychological pattern he had noticed in Oliveira.
But it's he's on a roll. He's coming off of a massive win against AJ. Usyk's also on a massive roll. So I think that fight's going to come down to mindset.
Truth revealed. Forced to defend for extended stretches without time to reset, Oliveira's confidence sometimes eroded. Charles has this thing, Poirier explained, to mentally fade. For him to win, he's got to set the pace early and keep it. If he gets stuck reacting to Ilia's pressure, he's in trouble. Islam Makhachev, who had submitted Oliveira in 2022, delivered perhaps the most balanced and tactically sharp assessment. For Makhachev, the fight wasn't about hype or stylistic preferences. It came down to execution and control. This is not about who looks better on highlights, Makhachev said. It's about who imposes the...
Now is a different machine.
Self-confidence will be...
And time waits for no man, as the saying goes. I just think that this is a fight it's exciting. It's a good fight. You've got to make Usyk the favourite, but it's a fight that Daniel Dubois can definitely win. I don't think
their game without falling into the other's trap. He believed that if Oliveira could drag the fight to the ground on his terms, especially from dominant positions, he would become a nightmare for Topuria. But he also noted Oliveira's tendency to get caught in striking exchanges, something that would be dangerous against someone with Topuria's power. For Makhachev, the fight was a razor-close contest where one mistake could change everything. The key question in his mind was who would be able to impose their will first. Could Oliveira set a technical trap and pull Topuria into a submission game? Or would Topuria's pressure, precision, and knockout power overwhelm the Brazilian before the ground game even became a factor?
Lost to
Usyk in December and beat him. I'll reign all the belts I should never have lost, and then I'll fight.
As fight night approached, no consensus had formed, but one thing was certain. This was not just a battle between styles. It was a test of discipline, decision-making, and the ability to adjust under fire. Alexander Volkanovski, who lost his featherweight title to Ilia Topuria, offered a firm prediction shaped by first-hand experience. Having shared the cage with the Spaniard, Volkanovski emphasized Topuria's relentless forward pressure and ability to suffocate opponents by denying them time to think, recover, or reset. He believed Charles Oliveira's tendency to engage in risky striking exchanges would backfire against someone as precise and unforgiving as Topuria. In Volkanovski's view, Oliveira would struggle to find the space he needed for mid-fight adjustment.
The feints.
Especially in Usyk press conference, he's not going to start flipping tables and kicking off and this, that and the other. He's going to play a few little games and mind games and that. But aside from that, pretty chill.
Adjustments. Daniel Dubois, who suffered a devastating loss to Oliveira at UFC 289, also weighed in. While he respected Oliveira's chaotic, high-octane style, marked by rapid-fire strikes, knees, and slick submissions, he slightly favored Topuria. Dariush pointed to Topuria's Greco-Roman wrestling foundation and solid boxing as key advantages. He noted that Oliveira thrives when he controls the pace, but a fighter like Topuria, disciplined in top control and savvy enough to avoid dangerous scrambles, could expose vulnerabilities others hadn't.
Not an easy task, but he's definitely the man that can go through with it. He's done the work, he's gone through the pedigree, and he's a certified champion. So, I think he has big hopes on doing it.